Hello everyone, it's Jin'taan here and welcome to another fleet fight video. And today I was once again able to get a decent fight with Providence. And this time I ended up using a pretty common doctrine instead of something wacky like the Shield Brutixes. I decided to take a spin at the Feroxes, although I did modify the fit a little bit, as you can see. The actual modification is relatively minor. What I did was I just swapped out one of the normal tank rigs on the Ferox for a range rig. And that might sound a bit weird because Feroxes already have really good range, but my thinking here was not actually based on the matchup I ended up fighting, which was against Harbingers. It was based on the potential matchup against Munins. And that might sound a little bit weird because obviously Feroxes already outrange Munins, but there are certain ranges within the Munin's kind of arsenal, specifically the range that's just outside of web range, where Munins are just so much better at applying DPS down because Feroxes don't have a good ammunition choice to cover that range with their current range bonuses. So by adding on this rig, my idea was that I'd be able to deal with Munins much more effectively and at least try and trade out against them at 80 kilometers. Anyway, hopefully at some point I'll be able to test the theory on that and report back to you. I get the feeling that I probably will be wrong because a lot of your problems come from application, not just range, but it's something that I want to test out. Still, my expectation of fighting Munins really flavoured the construction of my fleet as well, as I brought one consisting of 39 Feroxes, 3 Scimitars, 2 Scythes, 3 Hugins, a Sleipnir, and a Broadsword, and just a couple of frigates alongside that. Meanwhile, on the other side of the 9 UI gate, waiting to jump into us, we have 33 Harbingers, 4 Brutixes, 12 Guardians, 4 Damnations, 4 random battleships, a Loki, and plenty of other tackle on the Providence side. Now, something you should immediately realise from comparing those two fleet compositions is that the Providence side has a huge advantage in T2 logistics. That's not something that will decide the fight, but it's something that heavily played into the strategy that I decided to take. Now, what you've seen from me so far is just going in and generally trying to stay within optimal range so that I can trade DPS ship for DPS ship. And that's either because I believe that both fleets would retain critical mass, which is the number of ships needed to break through enemy logistics and get a kill, or that, I felt like I'd win on the ISK war if I just stayed in the fight and killed, 6 or 7 ships, even if I lost everything. And here, whilst I probably would have been able to kill a couple of Harbingers right at the start, once we got to the point where we were looking at 20 battlecruisers versus 20 battlecruisers, I would absolutely have already lost the fight, just because the Harbingers would probably have been able to tank me at that point, and I wouldn't have been able to tank them. So what I really wanted to do here was to both use my range advantage to try and provide a little bit of tank for my Scimitars, as they're not going to be taking appreciable damage from Harbingers at 80 to 90 kilometers, and then use my own DPS to try and hit their logistics in the first place, with the aim of just pushing them off grid by killing off the majority of their logistics core, and, kind of really closing out the fight as quickly as it started. After that, you can ideally tackle them down with whatever supporting elements you have, and just go in for the cleanup. However, here unfortunately I didn't actually have any major tackle, so we just get to see the first half of that strategy play out. Let's see what happens here. Oh, here they come, here they come. I just saw mass gate fire. Get ready, guys, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Get ready for your primary calls, guys. Ignore these, ignore these, ignore these. And this is going to be primary. LE, LE. Yeah, keep on them, guys. Now go on to Ditus. Keep heating on this guy. Heat until you get about 50%, please. Oh, they're warping. Okay. They're warping to a ping. Okay, they're going to try and get on top of us here, guys. Everyone reload to thorium. Put your MWDs on. Load thorium, put your MWDs on. Load thorium, put your MWDs on. So because of that aforementioned lack of tackle, Providence is able to reposition effectively here, getting in through the gate without getting locked down or trapped in an engagement with me, and warping themselves up to a ping rather than trying to burn the 100 kilometers into our guns. And as I call out on comms, what I expect them to do here is just to warp down on top of us. because that would give them the best chance of staying in where they want to be, which is really, really close to us, taking advantage of the high DPS that you can get out of a Harpy that shoots right into a potential resist hole of the Feroxes. So in response, what I do is I keep burning the fleet with their MWDs on. And what this does is, due to the way scanning works, they're going to know where we were, when they started that scan. And if in the 10-15 seconds that it takes for them to see what they want to warp to and actually warp to us, that means they're going to land 10 to 20 seconds away from where we were. And if we're cruising at 1,000 meters a second, that means that they're going to land 10 to 20 kilometers away from us already, and we're going to have started burning before they are, so we'll be at max speed and they won't. And hopefully that'll let us pull range away from them before they're able to get tackle on top of us. Yeah, he will probably die. Sucks to be him. Okay. Yeah, switch to antimatter actually, switch to antimatter, and your new primary will be this guy, BRU, just wait to lock him. Oh, they're webbing me, that's fantastic. Just gonna keep burning. And after that we're gonna go on LEX. Good job, guys. Now on LEX. Okay, so here we see a little bit of a mistake where I don't hand over the anchor even though I'm being webbed, and what this does is it slows down the entire fleet. And I primarily decide not to hand over because I'm worried about the disruption that re-anchoring would cause, and we're killing ships pretty quickly currently. One other thing to note is that I'm using a logistics only overview setting here, and that makes it a hell of a lot easier to find specific targets to broadcast, and I'd recommend all FCs have something like this set up. After that we'll go on DIT. Good job, guys. Now to DIT. Okay guys, read your guns here, switch to thorium please. Read your guns here, switch to thorium. Okay, or we can just kill this Guardian for way longer than we should. That's also fine, just make sure you read your guns here, switch to thorium please. And then we're going to go on to CJ. Keep your MWDs on, guys. Yeah, please use your cap boosters. Madded, can you, yeah. Oh, never mind, that's good. Then we're going to go on to this guy in Mama J. Awesome job, dudes, guys. You're just doing great here. You're doing great here. After that, we're going to go on Zizist. Good job, guys. They're just sitting in the middle of their own bubbles here feeding to us. This is exactly what we want. Rodiva. After this Rodiva, we're going to red guns and switch to Spike. Guys, make sure you carry. Make sure you're keeping up. We got a Frailer. You're way far behind. Is something tackling you? If so, can you broadcast it? Okay, guys. Okay, can you broadcast some for us? Everyone, red your guns, switch to Spike. Red your guns, switch to Spike, and turn your MWDs off here. Turn your MWDs off here. Turn your MWDs off here. Now, here's the other major missed opportunity in the fight from my perspective, because what I should have done here is, rather than just sitting still and choosing to refocus onto the Harbingers, what I should have been trying to do was to circle round those Harbingers in order to get back in range of the Guardians and just continue to really harass their logistics and use my speed advantage to do so. However, instead what I decided to do at this point was just to stay with Spike and stay in the position that I was at, but fire down onto the battlecruisers instead, because I was pretty sure that we would be able to break them at this point and they couldn't really shoot back at us. Yep, go on to this guy, and after that we're going to go on, turn your MWDs off here, we're going to save some cap. We're going to go on to Nackelman in the Harbinger. After that we're going to go on to Sarah, but Nactman is primary. Good job, guys. Now on to Sarah. After that, we're going to go on to Severa. Good job, guys. Now on to Server. That's okay, he can. After that we're going to Iski. Iski is new primary. After that we're going to go on Shinde for life. There's Iski's primary. Good job. No, sorry, now we're going to go on Sarah. Just put us out of range a little bit here, guys. Don't worry about that. We're just going to slow boat around. Sarah's primary. After that we can go on this Gnosis. Okay, and they're warping off. Nice, we did it, guys. Good job, good job. That was really well played. Bludgy, what did we lose? A lot of Feroxes? That's okay, we traded Feroxes for TT Logistics. I'm not going to complain about that. So at this point in the fight, there's not really much that the Providence FC can do, and leaving the battlefield is absolutely the correct call. What I probably should have done is stayed just in gun range of the Harbingers, so that I could continue to convince them to basically stay on grid, but I didn't do that, and as a result they were able to pretty painlessly extract, as we didn't have any bubbles to keep them there. After this we kind of poked at one another a little bit, but Providence ended up setting up in 9UI on the other side of the gate here, but with an Apostle and, you know, even more ships being brought to the cause, and I decided that I probably couldn't fight that by jumping into it, so I decided to retreat back to Dittle and fight another day. And sometimes choosing when not to take fights is also fairly important, and we'd already gotten a good one, so I didn't want to push my luck there. Anyway, as always, I hope you guys have enjoyed a little bit of an insight into what I'm thinking about when I'm FCing, and until next time, fly smart.